Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sew with Mediva. And if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to cut and sew this trendy A-line shift dress with bell sleeves. And I achieved this style using 3 yards of African print fabric. So if this is something you are interested in, make sure to keep watching and make sure you watch till the end so that you don't miss out on any detail. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share to your loved ones, and also subscribe to my channel. So I made use of 3 yards of this beautiful African print fabric. For a crepe fabric, you'll be needing just 2 yards. I have my tape roll, my chalk, my scissors, and my ruler. So let's go ahead to fold the fabric. So I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric already, and it is in a fold of 2. So because we're cutting out both the front and the back panels together, I'm going to further fold it into 4 this way. So this fabric I have here is not up to 2 yards of fabric, but it is more than 1.5. So I'll fold it to make a fold of 4 now. So make sure to arrange it very well so that all 4 sides are equal, just as you can see me doing in the video. So after folding into 4, I'm going to measure what I have here. I have 16 inches here. So to calculate the amount of fabric I'll be needing, I divided my round hip measurement by 4, which is 11 inches, and I added 5 extra inches to it to make 16 inches. So this is going to be enough for the A-line effect I want at the base of my dress. So if you want yours wider, you're going to need more fabric. So after folding, the next thing we want to do is to mark out a straight line at the upper part of the fabric. This is going to serve as the shoulder line. And from that shoulder line, I'll mark the full length of my dress, which is 39 inches plus the folding allowance. So after marking the full length, I'll go ahead to mark the remaining vertical measurements we'll be needing for this dress. So the next one is from the shoulder to the waistline. So from my shoulder to my waistline is 16 inches. I'll go ahead to mark it out. So mark your own appropriate measurement. And the next measurement is from my shoulder to my hip line, which is 24.5 inches. After marking out, I'll use my ruler to extend the lines this way. So the first line here is the shoulder line, this is the waistline, this is the hip line, and this is the full length of the dress. So the next thing we want to do is to mark the neckline. So come over to the completely closed angle of your fabric. On the shoulder line, the wideness of the neckline I worked with is 3 inches. You can use 3.5 if it's for a plus size person. And the depth of the back neckline, I'm marking both the front and the back neckline on this fabric. For the back, I used 1 inch, and for the front, I'm going to use 2.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to connect the points this way. So after marking the neckline, I'll come over to the shoulder line again. From that completely closed edge, I'm going to take my shoulder measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches. And then I'll come down from that 8 inches point by 1 inch to create my shoulder slope. So go ahead to connect the shoulder slope to the neck width this way. So from that 1 inch mark, I'm going to take my round armhole measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches for me. Another method to get your armhole measurement is to divide your round bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it. So for mine is 8 inches, and I'm going to connect the points together this way. And then I'll further extend the line to create the chest line. So I'll come over to this armhole line and get the midpoint. So mine is 4 inches. I'm going to mark 4 inches there. And then for the front armhole, I'm going to come in by 0.5 inches. And for the back armhole, I'll just connect it all the way down. So just what I'm going to do here. So this is for the front armhole. And for the back, I'll just connect it from that midpoint all the way to the side. So when cutting out, I'll cut out the back armhole first before I cut out the front. So the next thing we want to do is to place the round body measurement. So on the chest line, I'm going to place my round bust measurements divided by 4, which is 10 inches. I'll add 1.5 inches to it for ease. You can decide to do 2 inches for your ease, it depends on what you want, or you can even do 1 inch. So that is 11.5 inches, and I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance, making 12.5 inches. So go ahead to mark your own, and on the waistline, I'll mark my round waist measurements divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches. I'll add 1.5 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, making 11 inches. And on the hip line, I'll mark my round hip measurements divided by 4, which is 11 inches, 1.5 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, to make 13.5 inches. So I'll take my ruler now and connect all the 3 points together this way. So to create the A-line effect at the base of the dress, I'm going to first of all measure what I have on the hip line. So I have 13.5 inches on the hip line. So you can decide to add 2 inches extra or maybe 3 inches to it. For mine, I added 2 extra inches to make 15.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to use my ruler now to connect from the hip line all the way to the full length. So this is what you have. So to prevent any sharp edge, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches from this edge and just blend it into the full length. So this is basically all. Let's go ahead now to cut it out. So let's go ahead now to cut it out. So I'm cutting out the back armhole first. So when I separate the fabrics, I'm going to cut out the front. Make sure the fabric is well arranged while you are cutting. You can also use your pins to hold it down so that it doesn't move around. So I'll take the shoulder slope and then I'll cut out the back neckline. So separate the two fabrics from each other and then cut out the front armhole and the front neckline. So for the front, we're going to have a bit of opening, so I'm going to come down by 5 inches from the neckline and then just slit it open. So this is what we have now for the front. This is what the neckline looks like. And this is what the back looks like. So I'm going to show you guys now how to cut out facing for the necklines. So to cut out facing for the back panel, I'll fold this rectangular fabric into two this way. I'll also fold the bodies into two and then place the neckline on it this way. So I'll use my chalk to trace out the neckline before I cut it out. And then I'll cut out 1 extra inch or 1.5 inches, just as you can see me doing in the video, following the same shape. And then I'll take the shoulder slope. So after that, I'll place the facing on the neckline of the bodies and then go ahead to stitch it all the way down. So to cut out facing for the front neckline, I'm gonna head to fold another fabric into two and then I place the neckline on the closed angle this way. And then I'll just cut it out directly and then slit the center open just like we have on the bodies this way. So I'll take the shoulder slope and then just cut out extra 1 inch to the facing this way. So this is what you should have after cutting out. So I'm going to place it on the front neckline, right side facing each other, and then I'll proceed to stitch it down. From the neckline, I'll go ahead to stitch it down all the way up. So this is how to stitch the facing to the front neckline. So you turn the fabric and then stitch it all the way down. You turn the fabric again, stitch it all the way to the other side. So after joining, you're going to notch the seam areas opened, just as you can see me doing in the video. So after I stitched down the facing and notched it, this is what it looks like. And for the back, I have also done the same thing. I stitched the facing and I notched the seam opened. So I'm going to turn this over now to the wrong side. So make sure to bring out all those edges, just as you can see me doing in the video. Go ahead to bring out all the edges and flip the facing to the wrong side. So I'll go ahead to iron this out now and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So go ahead to iron the front and the back neckline so that it sits very flat on the right side. So after I ironed out, this is what it looks like on the wrong side. So I'm still going to use my hemming gum to seal it up later on. So the next thing we want to do is to close up the sides. So I'm going to place the front and the back panel right sides facing each other this way. So I'm going to start by joining the shoulders first. So I'll pick up the front facing and turn it over to the back this way. Just follow what I'm doing and then go ahead to stitch it all the way down using the 1/2 inch you added. I'll repeat the same process for the other side. I'll turn the front facing to the back this way and stitch it down. So when I'm done with that, I'll go ahead to close up the sides using the 1 inch seam allowance that I added. Follow the same shape and just close it up all the way down. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after joining the front and the back together, this is what it looks like. You can see how neat it looks. And for the sides, I also notched this waist area so that it doesn't appear rough on the right side. And I also finished the base of the dress by folding in twice and stitching all around, and I went ahead to iron it out. So the next thing we want to work on is the sleeve of the dress. So for the sleeve, I've gone ahead to cut out the fabric I'll be using. So the wideness of your sleeve depends on how much fabric you're going to use for it. So for mine, I have this fabric here and it is in a fold of 2. So one side I have 24 inches. That is, the widest circumference of my sleeve is going to be around 24 inches. So I'm going to further fold that fabric into 4 because I'll be cutting the two sleeves together. So on the fold of 4, I have 12 inches here, as you can see. So depending on how wide you want your sleeve, you can do 15 inches on fold of 4, depending on how much fabric you have. And the length of my sleeve is 25 inches. I've gone ahead to mark it here. So the first measurement I'm going to mark is my cap's height, which is 4 inches. So I'll go ahead to extend the lines this way. So after that, on this cap's height line, I'm going to mark my round armhole measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches. I'll add the 1.5 inches ease, making 9.5 inches, and 1 inch for seam allowance, making 10 inches. So I'll mark it there this way. So mark your own measurement. So from that point, I'll connect it all the way to the apex of the fabric on the completely closed side this way. So I'll get the midpoint of this line I just marked. So for mine, it's about 6 inches. And then I'll go ahead to mark half an inch up this way all the way to the center and half an inch down. So go ahead to measure what you have on this curve. So it should be the same with what you have on one side of the armhole of your dress. Like the front panel of my dress now is 11 inches and I have 12 inches here. So that means when I take the 1 inch for seam allowance, I'll be left with 11 inches. I hope you guys understand. So I'll go ahead now to connect connect from this that point point into into the the base of sleeve my sleeve this way. So like I So said, like the I said wider your earlier, fabric, the depending on wider the how base wide of your your fabric sleeve. is, that is So this going is to what mine determine looks how like. wide So your go sleeve ahead is to going cut to it appear out. at the base. But for mine, this is what I have. So Open I'll up go the ahead to side open and it then up and notch then the notch crown of the the sleeve crown this of the way. sleeve. So after opening up, so before I open it up, I'm going to just come up here by half of an inch to prevent that place from appearing pointy. So after that, I'll go ahead now to open up and separate the fabrics from each other. So we have the two sleeves cut out already. So what I'm going to do now is to fold in the base of the sleeve this way and stitch it down, and then go ahead to close it up on the sides. You can as well close it up on the sides before you fold in the base. So after I turn the sleeve over to the right side, this is what it looks like. I have also finished up the base like I said earlier. So the next thing to do is to insert the sleeve to the armhole of the dress. So this is what it will look like. So I'll flip the dress over to the wrong side. Flip it over to the wrong side. And then I'll get my sleeve, that apex that I notched. I'm going to pass the sleeve into the armhole this way and merge that notched part of the sleeve to the shoulder joining of my dress this way, and then I'll use my pin to hold it down. So I'll merge the side joining of the sleeve to the side of my dress this way, and then fit in the remaining part of the sleeve into the armhole. You can use your pins to hold it down before you stitch it. So you can see that the sleeve fits perfectly into the armhole. I'll go ahead to stitch it all around and insert the other sleeve. So guys, after inserting the two sleeves, you can see how beautiful it looks on the dress. This is what we have. And for the neckline, I have gone ahead to use my hemming gum to seal the facing down. I placed the hemming gum under the facing and I ironed it out to activate the gum. So just this is what the hemming gum looks like. Place it under the facing and iron it out. So this is basically all on how to make this trending shift dress. I hope you found this video useful and I hope you learned something new. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.